Yeah, so how to learn QuickBooks for free in a step-by-step manner. So if you want to learn QuickBooks, but just don't want to spend a lot of money on learning the skill sets, in this video, I'll show you the best free resources to master QuickBooks step by step. So why even the interest in QuickBooks? Now, QuickBooks is used by over 5 million businesses for bookkeeping and accounting services, and it's essential for small business owners, bookkeepers, accountants, and freelancers. Now, on this channel, we do tend to skew and focus more on bookkeepers, freelancers, and accountants trying to learn how to use the software so that they can support other businesses, right? So if you're a business owner, this video could have some help for you, but we're going to slant it more towards, the people you're going to hire to actually do your books. So what this video covers, we're going to talk about some official QuickBooks free training resources. We're going to talk about some different YouTube resource you can do as well. We're going to talk about how to actually go and get some QuickBooks practices with test drive features, as well as like free online courses and PDFs, and best learning strategies for beginners, so you can start really avoiding like common mistakes that a lot of people make. So okay, let's talk about the best free QuickBooks learning resources. So, number one, QuickBooks has free different training and tutorials. So, the official QuickBooks Learn and Support Center, you have to go to the website that's on the screen. So, quickbooks.intuit.com/learn-support. So, they have different free articles, step-by-step guides, and FAQs to kind of help you know exactly like what you should be doing, like what is the most important stuff to be learning, right? It covers everything from invoicing to bank recs. Now, the next thing is QuickBooks has free webinars and live training. So you can actually sign up for free live sessions with QuickBooks experts and learn QuickBooks online. Or if you want to do like QuickBooks Desktop, you can learn like different features that are there. Also, Intuit, that's the company that owns QuickBooks, they have their own YouTube channel as well. So you have to go to youtube.com/QuickBooks. Now, they have different free video tutorials on payroll, reports, tax, and integrations. Now, personally, for me, um, they're good videos. They're very short, like anywhere between like 2 to like 5 minute videos. So if you're just trying to learn like very specific like features and functions, it's fairly good. But if you need more like how to step by step videos, I'd be watching more like YouTube tutorials. Now, some people like you want to do everything for free, and like I don't necessarily suggest paying a lot of money for learning QuickBooks if you're gonna like be an accountant or bookkeeper. When I say a lot of money, I'm talking about more than like $1,000 for like a course on like learning bookkeeping. Now, the distinction is that there's a difference between learning bookkeeping and running like a bookkeeping or accounting business. Now, for many people that are watch this video, if you're like, trying to learn either accounting or bookkeeping, the reason why you're using QuickBooks is to start making money. Now, in a lot of cases, if you're trying to do everything for cheap, you're gonna have a very hard time being able to, get business owners to take you seriously enough to actually work with you. I'll give you an example. So a lot of cases, business owners, especially like ones that are a little bit more old school, they have made tremendous sacrifices to start and run their business. So whenever they see, they talk to someone and the person, you can tell pretty quickly who has, skin in the game versus who's just, just kind of doing everything for free and cheap. And in a lot of cases, business owners that have a lot of sacrifice, a lot of time, sweat, tears, blood into their business, they won't respect you the way that they would if you also had an equal sacrifice in the game. So that's one thing I'd just be kind of aware of, like if you're trying to do everything for free. Like I understand, don't try and necessarily pay a lot of money for QuickBooks, but when it comes to like learning how to do marketing and sales for your business, that's where I would spend a lot of money on. So going back to the YouTube stuff. So here's some best free like video guides. So again, QuickBooks does have their official channel. They are very short. So if you're looking for like more bite-sized videos, then the QuickBooks is good, right? It's like really over the shoulder kind of computer things. Next thing, I've been watching like different like YouTube channels. So Bookkeeping Master, that's a pretty good channel. Has a lot of like QuickBooks for like small businesses. So it's good if you're doing different types of small businesses. If you're looking for more like advanced tutorials, there's a guy named Hector Garcia. He's a CPA. I like his videos a lot. He's been around for probably about like 5 to 10 years, doing these YouTube channel stuff. So I kind of like it. Now, if you need something that's more step by step, it might be a little bit challenging because he does have like the A to Z guides, but a lot of his videos are going to be bouncing around different features and different functions of QuickBooks. So it is a little bit more advanced for the average. Another YouTube channel that's actually pretty good is called Fit Small Business. Now it focuses more on like setting up your QuickBooks for small business. So if you're like really struggling with like, how to build your chart of accounts, really how to do a QuickBooks setup, what's even involved inside of a QuickBooks setup, that channel is gonna be like really good for you to be able to kind of like go through as well. Oops. Next thing, so how to effectively learn from YouTube. So a lot of people really struggle when it comes to learning from YouTube videos. I know because I have my main channel is about 3,500 subscribers. We have about 1,500 videos. And most people, when especially they're trying to like learn stuff for free, I found that there's a correlation between like someone who's looking for stuff for free versus like someone who has invested themselves. Like the correlation is like how are they able to actually consume information? And the reason why is because you have to really understand your learning style if you're gonna be just watching YouTube videos to kind of get this stuff done. Which is why in a couple minutes we're gonna be talking about how to practice. But if you're gonna be like watching YouTube videos, I would be searching specific tutorials like how to reconcile in QuickBooks. But then also make sure you're taking notes while watching. Like treat this thing like it's actually a college class. Like treat this as seriously as possible because if you can get this business model to work for you, it can be the difference between you like, working a job for the next 20, 30 years or you like being able to retire in the next like 7 years. And like you think I'm exaggerating, it doesn't take that long. Like you can stack up a spare anywhere between like 300 to about $1 million in the bank if you do it correctly and you get to 10K per month in the span of we'll say like if you get to 10K per month in your first year and you let that run 120,000 per year for like the next like we'll say like 5 to 10 years, depending on like what your bill structure is like, yeah, you can have 500K inside the bank and just be literally making 50 grand a year off passive income. Crazy. Next thing is like once you have like taken some notes, I would pause each video and follow along like your QuickBooks test drive. So let's talk about that now. So step number three of learning QuickBooks for free is learning to do the online test drive. So test drive basically is a it's like a free demo account provided by QuickBooks and it lets you practice without necessarily paying for QuickBooks. And like it gives you like real world business transactions and sample data included. So you can access it by going to testdrive.quickbooks.intuit.com. Now the actual link for it has changed, so just be kind of aware of that. Um, if you go to like the QuickBooks main website, quickbooks.intuit.com, then it has available QuickBooks test drive. So the new link is if you are in the United States, https://qbo.intuit.com/redir/test drive, like test drive like you're driving a car. And that's going to take you to the place you need to go in order to go and start test driving. Then just make sure you click continue. It doesn't actually make you sign up, so it's kind of cool. So you don't have to like worry about getting a bunch of emails from people like, buy my thing, buy my good thing, upgrade, upgrade. Just let you kind of use it for free, which is kind of nice. Excuse me. Next thing. So after that, like you're just gonna explore the dashboard and just start practicing like entering transactions. Now, what to actually practice in Test Drive, I would start by adding customers and vendors. I would start by, creating invoices and expenses, running profit and loss reports, and then reconciling bank transactions. Those are like the four main things I'll be doing. Like if you can get really good at that, that's gonna be enough for you to get started with actually taking on like real client books. Next thing, I would start looking at like, different like online courses, right? So course and PDF. So number one, free QuickBooks course and certifications. Number one, Coursera and Udemy, they sometimes offer like free trials for their courses. Now their courses generally be like a lower price, like anywhere between like $5 to like $200. But if you get the free trial, you can try it. If it's under about $500 and like you're serious about, doing this as a real business, I'd probably spend like the $200 on like a Coursera or Udemy course to learn the bookkeeping element. Also, one that's kind of cool is they call it LinkedIn Learning. So LinkedIn has like a bunch of different like tutorials and different free things like that help people like start their business and acquire new skills so they can really, have a chance to really create that financial freedom for themselves and for their family. So I would look into that as well. Next thing, so let's say it's like free QuickBooks PDFs, guides, and ebooks. So Intuit has a help center. We can just do a bunch of like downloads of different PDFs for different guides. Also, again, that the YouTube channel Fit Small Business has a bunch of free like QuickBooks cheat sheets. Also, you go to SBA.gov and get like free financial management and bookkeeping guides. So those are some different ways you can get guides if you're more of like a reader rather than just kind of like a course kind of person. I tend to be more into course because just more step by step. But if you are more of a reader, then that can also be helpful as well. Next thing is Facebook groups. Now, I'm kind of going back and forth when it comes to Facebook groups because Facebook groups can be good if you have a little bit of experience, but if you have no experience, Facebook groups can be bad because it's just a place where a lot of people are like asking questions that might never come up on real client books, and it causes people to kind of go down this rabbit hole of like endless learning. Where it's like, oh my gosh, this person just talked about this really like obscure bookkeeping principle. I have no idea what that means, so I have to go learn it. Then you finally feel a little bit more confident. Then you go back into the group, and then someone says another obscure, reference or something. You're like, you have to go and learn that. And the more times you do it, the more you're like, well, if I didn't know these last 10 things, and this is what other bookkeepers are talking about, that means I don't know that much. And the more times you go into the group, you find something you don't like or you don't know, and then you go learn it, and it just keeps reinforcing this like negative spiral. Whereas what you really need to do is get a minimum viable skill set. So like what is the minimum amount of like, skill set you can do to kind of handle client books? And then from there you start going after real clients. Now, if you're really nervous about going after like, clients because you've never done it before, I'd probably recommend starting with smaller clients. So like sometimes on my YouTube channels or different videos you might see of me online, one of the specialties we do is we teach bookkeepers and accountants how to get high value and high dollar monthly bookkeeping clients. Now, for you, if you're just starting out and you have no skill set, no sales skills, you don't really know what you're doing, you it probably is not wise for you to start out with like, getting the biggest client that ever exists first, right? So you're going to want to, step by step, go slow and steady to win the race. One community that I would recommend going is going to be QuickBooks official community forum. I do like that. These other two groups I was like listing in the beginning, it's like it's kind of, but they're not bad. It's just you're going to get a lot of like fear mongering. So QuickBooks Online users, that's an okay group. Bookkeepers and Accountants Learning Hub, that's a good one as well. Just a place for you to like ask questions and bounce questions out the top of your head, but just really make sure it's like a community where there's people that are at different levels and not like a lot of people asking very obscure accounting things. I cannot stress that enough. I've seen some people like quit starting their own bookkeeping business because they get intimidated by like exactly like how much they don't know. Next thing, so how to actually learn? It's like what would be like a step-by-step approach to learning QuickBooks? So number one, again, start off with the QuickBooks free official like free tutorials. Number two, then start watching more in-depth YouTube tutorials to understand like basic features. After that, I would go and use the QuickBooks test drive for practice. That's the website we went to where it's like, the new test drive stuff to go get some sample companies. After that, I would take a free online course for more structured learning to kind of fill in any gaps that you don't already know. After that, once you have a little bit of confidence, maybe go join one like the main QuickBooks online community, just so you have like some extra support in case for when you're trying to go after clients, you can have like bounce off some ideas of like once you get a client, like what should I do? How should I do it? After that, you're gonna want to work on a real project. And if you don't know how to go and get clients, we can show you to do that inside like either one of our different videos on this channel or inside of our mentorship program. Um, so some common mistakes to avoid. Number one, do not skip the basics. Start with chart of accounts, invoicing, and expenses. Another mistake: some people go straight to client books. They never test on like on sample companies. Test drive on like a safe test environment before you start doing real stuff. After that, do not ignore bank reconciliation. This is critical for accurate financials. Next thing is some people do not understand, like they never learn reports. So make sure you understand basic statements, like basic financial statements and reports. So P&L, that's profit and loss statements and balance sheets, super critical. If you don't know that, it's gonna be really hard for you to be able to ever be able to give any kind of advice to your client or be able to communicate the value of the work that you're doing. Cool. So if you found this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more QuickBooks and bookkeeping tips. Comment below, what's the biggest like QuickBooks challenge you're facing? Maybe I can make a video about it to kind of support you in that as well. So in summary, this video is providing you details on step-by-step guidance for beginners who want to learn QuickBooks for free. Hopefully learn something new. If you have any questions, let me know inside the comments. I'll be sure to interact and help you out, okay? I'll talk to you soon. Have a good rest of your day.